This is gonna be super late. Undefeated is intended for audiences age 18 or older. This visual novel contains scenes that include intense graphic violence, flashing lights, substance abuse, and strong language. Reader discretion is advised. Or viewer discretion is advised, or listener discretion is advised. Anyway, where did we leave off? Believe it was like Redline was having a bit of issues. If I recall right, he was having a bit of it. Like, he was worried about he was worried about not having a match, and then he got a match, and then we had a bit of fun, and I guess Drayden and Bucky are a couple. That happened under the radar. And then we ran into one of the guys from earlier, way early, and found out something rather, disturbing for Redline. But yeah, we're gonna continue from where we left off. All right. I pull my phone to check the time. Ah, right. The text from Dad. Texts are at least an improvement. Now I can see what he has to say without the pressure of talking back right away. Hey, bud, call me. Dad. Well, there goes the option of not talking back right away. What the hell does he even want to talk about? I should just delete the text and block him. For some reason, my body gets a little numb whenever I think about that. Tingly in places all over for a second. Then it disappears. Like I got caught doing something I'm not supposed to. Oh, you get that feeling too? Probably something to talk with Drayden about. I swipe the text away and try to push it out my mind. A lot's been going on in the last, 12 hours? Bruce tried to get me to leave, and now he's trying to be friends with me. Redline's got his fight, and he needs to train. Redline needs to train. I need to focus on that. Anything to get the rest of this shit off my mind. Dang, 2 minutes in. Like 2 to 3 minutes in. I guess I've been here for a while, as Redline walks in with a fresh change in gym clothes. Oh, you're still here? Yep. He always smells like wet dog. The room stinks of it when he comes back after a shower. I was gonna try out my fight stick for a bit before practice. I don't have anything better to do, so I sit and watch Redline tap away on his buttons. It's like riding a bike. The other controller is nice, but this one's more comfortable, you know? Oh, I only had a fight stick once, and it didn't really last long. It was a very cheap piece of crap. It was an incredibly cheap piece of crap. So yeah, I don't know the feeling, other than maybe arcades, but. God, I want a custom one. He turns to look at me excitedly. I actually used to, His ears lower and he looks back to his laptop. Anyway, I'll shut up now. Did he just get embarrassed? I didn't know shame was something he could feel. You're fine. Talk away. Redline shakes his head, booting up that fighting game from before. Nah, I just talk your ear off. I let out a sigh and sit on the foot of his bed to get a better view of the screen. If I'm being honest, it's weirder when you're not talking. The game finally boots up, blaring the theme music. At least his ears are perked up now, though that might be from the sudden volume. Redline sheepishly chatters away about some of the lore behind the game. Sounds really confusing, but I'm only half paying attention. He stops on some menu. I think my internet is out? My phone is working just fine. It says it's connected. Do you think the new firewall is blocking me from playing my games too? I wouldn't put it past them. Redline sort of deflates in his chair. Sorry about that, Red. Maybe we'll get Bruce to learn how to play. I was half joking, but maybe that'd give him something to do together. Anything to keep Redline happy. He sets his big clunky controller down, gets up and stretches. Well, might as well get ready for class then. Oh man, are you saying that we ruined Redline's game too? Dude, everything could just blow up in our faces in an instant. Oh. You're gonna try and get your ass kicked by Bucky again? He laughs and holds the door open for me. Bucky and Jesse too. I'm gonna have them seeing stars. The next few days go by in a blur. Redline's working almost non-stop. When he's not sleeping or eating, he's in the gym, the weight room, even the swimming pool. He's up early and out late, no time to spend with his friends, barely even any time to annoy me. Classes are going pretty well, too. Since the fight was on such short notice, Red and Bucky are usually working directly with each other. Apparently, the impromptu sparring match gave Bucky a lot of insight on how to help Redline improve. It's actually pretty interesting watching him while he's determined. He's always pretty focused in classes, but with the fight coming up, he's gotten a lot more intense, but in a good way. Normally, he'll goof around a bit, joke around with Bucky, and be a little extra, just to be extra. He's still got the cheeriness, but it looks like he's funneling all his energy into training. Diligence? Maybe that's the right word. The kind of guy that can focus his sights on exactly what he wants, and put everything he has into getting that. Unfortunately, those two working so closely together, that means I have to deal with the rest of the guys in our class. They're always reluctant to work with me, but I don't care either way. If they want to treat this like picking teammates in high school, in a high school gym class, then I'll be that adult and actually try to get work done. I swear, one of them actually tried to hit me with full force at one point. Retaliating in the same way would just get me in trouble. Wish these guys would just focus like Redline is. Somehow they've made it this far in their career, and they treat it like some kind of frat house. Whatever. Time passes. Redline trains. He goes to the weigh-in and... Bigger? Redline shakes his head. They don't list the actual weights, so I might just be remembering wrong. But I swear, Jess looked even bigger than I remember him being. And you said he was already bigger than you. Yeah, maybe I'm just remembering wrong. I usually have a good eye for names and faces, especially someone as popular as Jess. Are you nervous? He scoffs, flexing and patting his bicep. Who do you think you're talking to? Zan, I'm tougher than every chump down here. After posing for a second, he blushes and goes back to standing normally. Aside from you, of course. And I guess maybe Bruce. That's yet to be decided. And Bucky? I knock him out in the first minute. Confident. If that's the case, I'll make sure he knows about your plans. Redline laughs. There's that laugh. It's better when he laughs. The fight comes up quick. It was barely a week when they announced it, so the past few days have felt like a blur. Time feels weird down here. All we do is eat, sleep, and train. Sometimes I forget which day of the week we're on. Oh boy. Oh, been through that. And I just live in this house. I accompany Redline and Bucky as far as I can, right down the hallway leading to the immersion chamber. I wave them off as they enter the door leading to the catacombs. Well, not actually catacombs, But that's what they feel like. Just a long-ass maze of hallways and doors. Redline normally tries to drag me to the fights, but I actually don't mind watching them. The problem is everyone else. The rest of the guys are usually talking way too loud, goofing around while I'm trying to watch and study the fights. You'd think they'd get rid of all that energy during training. At least I've gotten good at tuning it out. I'm at the point where, unless someone bumps into me, I can't even tell they're there. I enter the viewing room and see inside of the arena is already on screen. So I hurry up and drop down in an empty seat as far away from the others as possible. The commentator starts speaking off the camera. Good evening, Fang fans across the globe. This is Brett Brock, your favorite hawk. I'm coming to you live from the Fang Arena. Brett Brock, my favorite hawk. He's all right, I guess. How is he your favorite then? He's been commentating Fang fights for a long while, at least for most of the time I've been watching. Brett's got a lot of ring IQ, and he also tends to provide a lot of insight on the fighters that the other commentators would have missed. He keeps track of their records and history, and tends to talk about things in a way that's just nice to listen to. The last guy before him got canned before he asked the cameras to turn away from a particularly bloody fight. Apparently his comments ruined the shot of the knockout, and they couldn't use it for promos. Whatever. Brett's alright. Definitely better than his co-host. And I'm Johnny Roar. Ugh, Johnny Roar. This guy's a grade A creep. He started out as a video podcaster, which is a stupid name already. You make videos. That's not a podcast. Well, yeah, look, tell that to Distractable. Tell that to the Distractable podcast. Anyway, he got popular going over some Fang fights, especially when they started getting more and more violent. He used to interview the fighters whenever they could get topside to speak with them. He got popular fast, so Fang brought him on to commentate. Now he's working some kind of weird limbo position where he's in Fang part-time just to talk over the fights. Since then, the embargo on fighters talking publicly have only gotten stricter. So he doesn't do too many fighter interviews these days. They got replaced by interviews with, man, I don't even know. The last 3 guests on the show talked about how much they hate women for not putting out on the first date. What the? Huh? And then immediately shat on gay people for daring to look in his direction. Okay. His earlier videos had some actual insight into the fights, but now he's cultivated such a god-awful audience. It's just mind-numbing garbage. Oh boy. And he fucking sucks as a commentator. I mean, he's okay, I guess. But Brett had such a nice flow on his own, and now he has some homophobic influencer spouting off bullshit whenever he's trying to talk. I can ignore it, but it just makes the audience Fang garners a lot worse to deal with. Lots of guys hoping for more bloodshed and violence. Yeah, pleasure to have you here, Johnny. How are you tonight? I'm f***ing stoked for the fights, Brett. You know, I've been flying all across the country these last few days recording stuff for the John cast, so I barely had any time to read up on the fighters. You mind filling me in? More than happy to, as usual, JR. Brett starts listing out the card about to play out tonight. Pretty standard for a non-title fight card. A few fights from each weight class. Most of the big events occur on a monthly basis, but this isn't one of those. And the final fight of the evening, we got Raging Redline against the 2-round terror Jesse. Jess, who the hell is Raging Redline? I'm just reading the name on the card, Johnny. They both laugh at that. Raging Redline. That's the kind of stupid nickname Redline would give himself. The 2-round terror now. Jesse calls himself that because he barely makes it past the second round. Well, now, you make that sound like it's a bad thing. Is it a good thing? We don't exactly have rounds in Fang. Thank God for that. But Jesse fights have notably gone beyond 10 minutes, standing round length. Of course, being around 5 minutes, but I swear every fight I see this guy in, he's had them out cold by 3 minutes. Yep, Jesse's made quite a name for himself with his quick knockouts. I think it'll be interesting to see how Redline fares. Raging Redline? Haha, yes, that one. Redline's been with Fang for quite some time now, but he still hasn't had too many fights. He's got 3 wins and no losses right now, compared to Jess's 14 wins and 2 losses. Jess has definitely got experience on his side, but I know Redline's got a perfect record for a reason. Oh, looks like our first fight's about to start. The screen dims whenever the fighters step out of the elevators. I lean back in my chair as the fight commences. At least it's pretty chill in this room. The smaller cards don't always get huge audiences, so it's not too bad. Hey. Hey. God, it's been a minute, and I've had a lot of things I had to deal with, so my voice has definitely changed. Bruce grunts from behind me. It almost makes me jump had it not already been this decently noisy in here. This seat taken? It's not my Bruce voice. Without waiting for an answer, he shuffles through the row of seats, dropping down a few chairs away from me. No one else seems to notice, so I try not to either. At least he's not bothering anyone. Bruce really shows up for title fights. Come to think of it, he's never been at any friends' fights either. Why is he here? None of the heavyweights tonight are big names. None of my business, I guess. The fights get started, so I settle in. Overall, it's a decent card. Some of the new faces, well, new to me, were impressive. One of them landed 3 cartwheel kicks in the same fight. I'm trying to figure out how that looks, so I know what you're talking about. I'm guessing that's like I'm trying to think of a character that has like a move similar to that. And the first thing that came to mind was like one of Ken's overhead kicks, but I'm pretty sure it's not that. Cuz I would feel like it's probably like a spin to an overhead kick, not. Or maybe it's like a forward flip. No, that would be a somersault then, right? It's gonna bother me. I would have to look at Virtua Fighter to know for sure, because I'm pretty. I would bet that it's in there. Still not sure if that's impressive for him, or for his opponent getting knocked out by one, but impressive nonetheless. The fight before the main event was a Rhino and a Tiger in the heavyweight division. Looked like an easy fight for the Rhino, but his ego got a bit too big, and the Tiger was a bit too brutal. If I had to go into a fight with that much blood on the floor, I'd be a little unnerved. But there's not exactly enough time to clean off the cement. I've always wondered how they clean it off. They just get some dudes with some pressure washers. Bloodstains are pretty quick, right? How do they get the colors out? It's not like they can pump new cement every week down here. They get a pressure washer. You get a pressure washer, probably with some cleaning solution, and just go to town. I guess they don't have to replace the whole floor. Or maybe they have some kind of chemical that can clean that deep. Who cares? It's not something I have to bother with. The two commentators are still chattering on about the last fight when the screen goes black. And stepping into the arena first, we've got the challenger, Raging Redline. I can't believe they're still rolling with that nickname for him. But sure enough, Redline trots out of the arena to the sound of some rock music. His stats flash on the screen. 5 feet 8. 5 feet 8 inches tall and 143 pounds. I guess I wasn't too far off with my original estimate. That is light. Not that shorter than me. Not that shorter than me, but he is light compared to me. I think I have him by 100 pounds. Last time I weighed, anyway. Which, that might be a bit embarrassing. You know, I remember seeing this guy's fights while they were scouting him out. I could tell he was going to do some great things. I mean, the guy's an animal. You don't even know him. You just made that up. He's got stamina. He's got speed. He's got a surprising amount of power for someone his size. These lightweights, man, they're getting deadlier every year. We haven't been able to see too much of him. Well, that might just give him the advantage he needs over Jess. Hard to research your opponent when you don't have much to go off of. Exactly. Speaking of Jess, seems he's stepping out now. Jess stomps out of the elevator and his stats show up on screen. 5 feet 8 inches tall. 189 pounds? You know something ain't right there. This is supposed to be the lightweight division, but Redline said they both passed the weigh-in. But if this is a lightweight fight, he shouldn't be over 180. I even think the 189 is fudged. The way you guys were talking about him sounded like he was in the 200s. Maybe it's just a typo. That doesn't seem like Fang's normal level of quality control, though. And they do have the system bugging out for my fights. Bruce is leaning forward in his seat. He looks pissed. Well, he always looks pissed. It's so hard to read his face. Coming in at 5'8" and 188 pounds. This guy is a beast. I know we were chatting earlier about his knockout power, but he's just insane. Looks like Johnny saved Brett from having to comment on the size difference. It's even more apparent when both Redline and Jess are staring each other down from the sides of the ring. And here we go, kicking off the final fight of the night. Somebody totally differently drawn, but wow. Redline steps in, and I think I'm going to have to lower this music's volume. Where is the options? Options, please. Preferences. I don't know. This sounds like I've been getting hit with content IDs a lot for certain music, and then others not so much. So I just have to cut it. I just hope that this is enough. All right. Redline steps in with his fist extended. It's customary for fighters to tap gloves before they start, a sign of respect. Jesse seems to have missed that day in class. Instead, charges forward with his fist cocked. He swings in a wide hook that should have cleaved Red's head clean off. But Aina was too fast. Redline ducks under the hook, circling out, while sending a parting shot to Jesse's body. The Puma was relentless, coming for Redline even after he tried to escape. 2 more blows fired at Red's snout, both missing their mark, just barely as Red created some distance. See, that's just how Jess gets you. He just comes out of the gate swinging. I've seen way too many guys take one too many from the start, and it just all falls apart from there. You think that kind of predictable start people would start expecting it? Except Redline did. He's prepared, or at least as prepared as he can be at a 50-pound disadvantage. Once Red's got a good bit of distance, he makes sure to keep it. Jess has got an intimidating form, foregoing proper technique as he stomps towards the hyena. Red's already circled out by the time he gets close. He's right in the gate, moving along the absolute edge of the arena. He can put a foot down outside now and again, but if he's fully outside it, Jess can close the distance and keep him there until he times out. Red's fast, only pulling his hands up if Jess gets close. Some people might see it as disrespectful, but Red's not that type of guy, as far as I know. He's backed against one end of the ring. The Puma moves in. Redline ducks and circles out, hardly even bothering to fight back. Seems they're playing some tag in there. Redline's making him move all across the ring. He's playing a dangerous game, but I think I see the picture. If Jess's fight only lasts for a few minutes, that means he probably won't have the energy to fight past that time limit. Once he reaches that time, he's going to get exhausted, weak, slow. Red can piece him apart. Of course, he's got to survive that long. No doubt the first few punches thrown at Red would have ended the fight then and there. But if the gamble pays off, isn't this the strategy that you tried on Bruce? Red will stay undefeated and make it to the next fight, hopefully against someone his size. Just then, Redline stumbles over his own tail. Jess's fist cracks clean against his muzzle. The hyena staggers to one side. Oh! There's a nice shot! One of the guys still watching the fight made a bit of an uproar. A mistake like that is usually pretty huge, and it's clear Redline's paying for it. Bruce is next to me and lets out a sharp breath. His gaze is deep, intense. When it comes down to it, Redline has no shot of surviving more hits like that. He might be fast and have plenty of energy, but he doesn't really have the option for starting a slugfest here and now, especially if he's flustered after that mistake. I silently thank the stars for how useless deer tails are. Taking advantage of Redline's compromised position, Jess follows through. His massive frame charges in with another fist aimed for Red's face. The hyena's got his guard up, blocking a blow to the face and another to his chest with his arms. That's still got a sting, but better on the arms than on the face. Jess ends his combo with a kick to Red's ribs, but Redline catches the leg against his side. Wait! The whole room freezes to watch. Before Jess can react, Redline clutches the leg tight. He pivots on one foot, turning in place, releasing Jess as he turns. The Puma has no chance of fighting back. He hobbles to his standing leg, then ultimately gives in as his body is thrown along the floor, sliding outside the ring. If the floor was a typical canvas floor, that might have been less painful. But we could hear the sound of skin scraping on the cement from here. Oh, God, that's giving... And even as small as Redline is, there was some serious force to that throw. 190 pounds is a lot to drop to the ground, and after how much Red has been running him around the ring, it's starting to show. Jess's sweats left an imprint where he skidded. I cannot believe it! He threw him to the ground like it's nothing! Typically, after taking a guy down, you want to follow him to the ground and beat him unconscious, but Redline is actually backing away. Actually, the smart move. A guy that big on wake up would be dangerous if you don't respect it. And he's opting to let Jess get back up. That's a pretty big gamble. It's a pretty big gamble if he goes in. It'll be worse if he goes in. I've seen some guys do this before, but it's actually just to piss off the other guy. But it makes sense, right? I mean, look at the guy. He's a string bean. If he goes to the ground with Jess, he's going to get rolled and pinned and knocked the out. Of course, Redline's playing the long game. If he tries to finish the fight, he's going to get overpowered. If he tries to prevent Jess from getting back in, he's going to get overpowered. The only option he has to use is the ring out rule against Jess. That will force him to get up and waste more energy. Sure enough, after a few seconds, the countdown timer. Jess is stumbling to his feet and back into the ring. Redline looks full of energy, still moving carefully without issue. The sweat makes a nice sheen over his fur, and there's a bit of blood from the knock he took, but he looks as ready as ever. Jess, on the other hand, is a bit sluggish. His fur has been matted down by the sweat, and he's moving a bit slower as he re-enters the circle. It's clear he's not learning too much, or at least he's not getting the picture just yet. He takes a second to breathe, and then charges right back in to attack Redline head on. So we got a big guy playing Rushdown. So we got a big guy playing the Rushdown game, and the other one is just playing counter. The two play the same game as before, with Redline taking the occasional shot at Jess when he circles out. It's not exactly the most interesting way to fight, but it's a more strategic fight. Given the size advantage, that's a better way to operate. If he wanted to be showy, he could. That's Redline's whole deal. But he knows as well as I do that every second he spends in there is dangerous. The way Jess keeps charging in at Red, he looks more like a bull than a puma. About 10 minutes have passed, which is a ridiculous amount of time to be fighting without break. Aside from the hook on Redline, Jess being thrown, not a whole lot has happened. There's been a few clean strikes here and there. Redline's nose is bleeding a bit more after taking a jab or two, but he hasn't broken concentration. Jess, on the other hand, looks like hell. His legs are shaking. He's losing sweat fast. His arms can barely stay up, and when a punch is thrown, Redline's dodging and countering with 3 more, all sent to the body. Oh no, it's Little Mac! Go, Little Mac! Aiming for the head is a good way to knock someone out, but body shots can be devastating. The body is sensitive, especially if you take a good shot to the liver or solar plexus. With good aim and enough power, you could drop a guy in a few minutes. With one shot there, no matter how big he is. Barring that, of course, hitting someone in the abs accumulates over time. The more you work their body, the harder it is for them to breathe, and the more energy they have to spend just to keep the fighting back up. Targeting only the body and conserving energy while your opponent is notorious for having a limited amount of energy is the perfect combination for. Ah! Holy I blinked, thinking I missed something. It all happened so fast. Jess was exhausted, completely wiped, and went to throw a punch. But his guard was his absolute at this point. He's got no form, which is exactly where Redline wanted him. The Puma's fist had extended, with Redline having more than enough time to evade it. Rather than let himself stay within range of Jess's deadly fist, Red opted to use a kick instead. You could see the consciousness leave Jess's body with how exhausted he was. It didn't take much to put him out. The Puma went limp in the instant Redline's foot connected with his jaw. The sound accompanying it made it clear something was broken. As Jess falls, the others in the room all come to attention. Bruce tenses up, and when I turn to look at him, I can see a grin on his face. Time resumes, and Redline wastes no time finishing the job. Jess's body falls limp to the concrete, and Redline follows up. Both legs plant over the Puma. Redline bends over, swinging 1, 2, 3, 4 hooks across his opponent's face. Once it's clear he's not fighting back, the bell rings and Redline rises. With a beautiful kick to the head, Redline has put Jess out cold. Looks like he's keeping his win streak going for another fight. And with a performance like that, I think he'll be keeping it for a long time. He raises his arms and pumps them, roaring out some sort of victory screech as the music starts playing. Bruce leans back in his chair and folds his arms. He's still smiling. Redline played it smart. He was patient and calculated. And being able to fight for that long under pressure from an opponent that much heavier just proves how hard he's worked for this. He deserves it. I think you can pick up something from that, Xander. I've woken up. Should I stop here? I'm woken up out of the best sleep I've had in a while by someone pounding at my door, followed by what sounds like the door to the side staircase opening and closing. Probably some asshole running down the hallway waking people up for no goddamn reason. It's happened before. Roll out of bed to stumble to the door. Redline's not here to be woken up. The doctors had him stay in medbay overnight just to clear him for a concussion. That was a few hours ago, though. I'm sure he's fine. I swing the door to see if anyone else got woken up. There's a scrap of paper on the floor at my door looking down the hallway. There's no one else awake. I flip the paper over. Get read to beach. B. Bruce? Bucky? If it were Bucky, he'd probably just tell me directly instead of slamming on my door at 11 p.m. I can't tell if this is a dream yet. If it's a dream, it'd be pretty lame of me to just go back to sleep. Might as well enjoy it. I'm really not in the mood for whatever Bruce has in store, but it sounds like he wants a Redline more than me. And they actually seem to have a history, so... Slide on the pants and sneak away down to medbay. I don't know why I'm sneaking. There's no curfew down here. But I walk with confidence right past the receptionist and wander through the halls until I see a room with Redline's name outside it. The door creaks open, and he's in there, sitting on bed, legs dangling off the side. His ears twitches when it hears me, but he doesn't move until I speak up. Red? Immediately, he comes to attention, turning to face me with a big smile. It scared me, dude. What's up? You're still up? Yeah, the doctors cleared me a while ago, but I was, chatting with Drayden. I feel like I have a responsibility to ask him about that. But Bruce's note shifted in my pocket. Ah, gotcha. I got this note by our room. I think it's from Bruce. It's not the same voice, and I'm getting mad about that. He wants me to bring you to the immersion chamber? Without question, Redline hops down from the bed, scoops a little knapsack over his shoulder, and trots to the door. Sounds good! Just like that? Do you need to check out or anything? Nah, they offered to let me stay tonight, but I don't think I'll be doing any sleeping. Fair enough. He must still have some adrenaline from the fight. We make our way down the long hallway, and Redline's uncomfortably quiet. He doesn't seem sad, just quiet. For once, I'm leading the trek, and after a few minutes, we make it to the immersion chamber. Are you sure? Are you sure you want to do this? If you need rest, we can... Nah, if he wants to see us, we can see him. We open the doors and find Bruce standing behind the bar counter, setting up a few bottles of various drinks. All right, we should stop here. I think I know what comes up. I think I have a inkling as to what comes up here. So this should be saved for the next part. So let's save. That was a good fight. That was a good fight, Red. Sad I'm going to have to edit out so much. All right. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.